before the next one. In 5 days, the fact that at some point in your career, you were closer to Asiwaju's camp than to any other camp, far before 2023. At what time will your own defection come? But more importantly, what are your thoughts to the president's submission on Thursday?
Steve, it's my pleasure to be here. And let me say that one of the greatest problems the leaders have is when you're ensconced, surrounded, and, permit my choice of words, when you allow jesters and jokers to marinate you, to remove you from reality. Our president knows that gravitation to and towards a one-party state is against the intendments and the tenets of democracy. A true one-party state is absolutely the opposite of true democracy. And then when you allow political tendencies gravitate towards a one-party state, what you're having is dictatorship, despotism, and authoritarianism. And unfortunately, when they tell him that it means nothing, that it's okay to sweep them clean, it obviously means that those who are jesters around the president want to have an authoritarian rule over our country. But that has never happened. That can never happen. That will never happen, because Nigerians are naturally opposed to any one tendency conquering us. Our historicity is replete with instances of such. But let me say clearly here that, your question was bold and daring. I was part of the formation of the APC. I headed the presidential, one of the arms of the presidential campaign of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And you know my historicity in the APC very well. But let me be frank in answering some of the questions you threw at me. First, my politics has always been about the Nigerian people. It's country first. That's the movement I had. And when Buhari won the last election, and less than 2 years into that administration, the former Minister of Information told us that change begins with you. Whereas the campaign mantra in 2015 was change. I challenged it, and I said that wasn't what we told Nigerians. We told Nigerians that we're going to be the change. Leadership starts from the top. Mitt Romney, the former American presidential candidate, said that leadership must and should show the way. So when it became obvious that the APC was reneging on its commitment and promises to the Nigerian people, I became one of the fiercest critics of the party. And just before the 2023 elections, in 2022, I resigned from the party. I am not anxious to return to the party. I can only consider those issues when it's obvious that leadership thinks about the masses of our people rather than egocentric interests. There's so much sycophancy about what is happening. And I think that if there's any tendency that is jittery in today's Nigeria, it's the APC. Let me tell you, I'll give you 3 reasons why it's manifestly obvious that the APC is jittery, not necessarily the opposition. All they have done is to try to disorganize, defeat, disorient, and mess up the opposition. But in doing that, they actually have been the one who has been majorly jittery. It is less than 2 full years of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency. And what you see is more of politics than governance. What you see is more of propaganda than leadership. And what you see, less than 2 years of his administration, is that the party is anxious to endorse a presidency that is largely uncharismatic. And I wonder why. The party is anxious to tell us that